Hey folks, it's Nick Granville. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I thought I'd talk about harmonizing parts, double stops if you will, that kind of thing. A lot of times when people think of double stops, they think of like Chuck Berry type stuff, right? You know. I'm not going to go down that road today. That's kind of rock and roll guitar that's been done a lot. There's a lot of stuff on that. I thought what I'd show you today is kind of a method to kind of harmonizing a line, right? Rather than more like riff type stuff. So if we take something simple, let's take an A major scale. Right? Right, and there's two kind of main harmonies that you'll see in music. It's thirds or sixths are the common ones. So we go from A and C sharp together, and then B and D because it has to fit the key, right? If we did major third, it'd be out of key. C sharp and E, D and F sharp. So, and you get this. You'll notice I kind of did it all around one position. It's much easier if you were to go like this. But it doesn't make a lot of sense to do that, right? You're more likely to play it within a position. Of course, you can continue it up the octave. You can do it in both directions, up and down, but you can also there, you might have noticed that I did C sharp and E here, but you could also do it here. There's no whichever makes sense, right? Now I find those super useful because if I have a line that maybe goes just the arpeggio, I could do that, or any number of things, right? Maybe. It's just, to me, it's just a little more interesting then. Guitar players like Steve Cropper did a lot of that sort of stuff, of just harmonizing very simple lines, you know. Alright, which is sixth. And that's the one I'm going to get into next. So, right, that was thirds. You could also harmonize in sixth. They tend to work really well, and I think partly the reason is that if you think about a sixth, it's kind of like a third in reverse, isn't it? If I go A down to the sixth, it's a minor third down, isn't it? So it's like a third, but it's the flip of it, and you would get this. You'll notice there I played the F sharp and D in two places. You can play it there or there. Doesn't really matter, whichever one makes the most sense to you. And you see there I had a line where I played it in sixths to start with, but then finished with thirds and other stuff. And I think that's the musical way of doing this stuff, isn't it? You don't want to be just doing one thing. You kind of do a combination of things when you play. Kind of cool there to keep one note static on the top and move things. Fourths are a thing as well, but they're more a modern thing to me. It's like fourths are very I kind of hear that more like a jazz thing. To me, I'm more likely to use fourths if I'm kind of going to go to something else. Like maybe I'll go like that and I'll go right, and add another note in underneath. Unless it's in a jazz context, then I'll use fourths a lot because that's kind of like a fusion-y type approach, and then I'll use fourths. But really, the ones are thirds and sixths. So what should you do to work on this stuff? Well, the thing I would suggest is that you start just playing your scales and doing it, right? Like I just did. So we did major, but what if we had a minor scale, like say, I don't know, Dorian? That would be your first one. put a blues lick on the end and everything makes sense. There was fourths going into thirds. This was saying earlier, like that's more like how I'd use fourths, where I'm going to go into a third or into something else, right? Of course, you can play these as sixth. It's a good sound. Now, the one thing I would say too about six is you might find there's sort of some technical issues that come with that, right? Because you can't often use your pick across stuff. You might have to go to fingerstyle. Right there, what I'm going to do in that instance to play those two notes is I'm going to mute the A string in between with my second finger. Then I can use my pick. Or, alternatively, go to your fingers. If you can hybrid pick where you can use your pick and your fingers at the same time, you could do that. I suck at hybrid picking. It's not something a technique I use. And I totally get the benefit of it, and I probably should. You hear players like Guthrie Trapp use it, and you just go, man, like I need to get my hybrid picking together. But I never kind of get around to it. It's one of those things. At the moment, my big thing's been working on slide playing. But anyway, back to six. So if you play thirds and sixths and kind of apply it to a bunch of scales, you'll start to see these because there's not a lot of difference in a lot of this stuff. For example, if I play you, I don't know, A major. I played it in thirds, right? And then I'm going to play A minor. Well, if I go up to C major and A minor are the same set of notes, right? I just played essentially A minor, but I didn't, right? I just thought C major over the A minor. And the thing with that happens is that you start to see, there's so many similarities in all of these shapes and things that happen. And more importantly than anything, you start to hear it, right? If I play this, I already know what the next one is going to sound like in A major, and without having had played it. I can hear that already in my head. I can hear the next one. And that's just because I've done it a lot, right? And you start to hear this stuff. And to me, that's the most important thing. Because we're not here to just run scales. That's not musical, right? The scales are not music. A good buddy of mine mentioned the other day, he said something that John Schofield had said to him, that John Schofield had said A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, and just recited the alphabet. And he said, see, alphabet is not sentences, is it? I thought that was a good one. It was something along those lines. That was my buddy Lee Jackson. But that's an interesting one, isn't it, right? Alphabet is not sentences, lines and stuff, right? Just like scales aren't music. But they're a building block for music, just like the alphabet is, right? You got to know it. It's really important stuff. So I kind of, with this stuff, always take something like that and make music with it. You can see the possibilities out of this are huge, right? So the things I'd suggest, start with scales and try playing through your scales and harmonizing them in thirds and sixths. It's a good place to start. Another thing you do is just take simple tunes that you know and try and do the same thing. So something like Awesome Leaves. Right? We're in the key of B flat major. Right, is right, or you can harmonize it below. Don't like that as much, but you could also. right? And again, if you take something simple like that and you just kind of harmonize it at thirds or sixths, you'll start to see more out of it. Now the thing is, when I play, I don't tend to do whole big sections like this on this stuff. It might be just like one idea harmonized, and then I'm back to single note lines, or I'm back to chords, or I'm back to whatever I'm doing. But that one idea is the bit that becomes the tasteful kind of thing, right? And so you sort of sprinkle it into your playing rather than, big long phrases. Hey, look, I hope you found this useful. If you have, please like and subscribe. Post twice a week on here, plus my live stream on Mondays, midday Monday in New Zealand time, which is Sunday the rest of the world. PayPal's link below, Buy Me a Coffee's link below if you're into that kind of stuff to support the channel. Most important thing is that you're here and you're watching. That's what I really care about. And subscribing helps, and liking helps, and all that kind of stuff. You know what to do. But yeah, thanks very much. See you in the next video. Cheers.